Who else is America's caddy going to talk to after an epic U.S. Open but the winning caddy, Brennan Little, a.k.a. Butchie? What was it like for you? Now, here's the thing. People don't know. While Gary does not have a major on his resume, you did. So what did you draw on from that 2003 Masters that helped you win this U.S. Open with Gary Woodland?
I think it was totally different, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mike and Gary are different players, different personalities. All week, Gary was just super calm. There really wasn't a time all week that he got a little riled up or got impatient. It seemed like every time he missed a green or got himself in trouble, he either got it up and down or made a 10-footer for bogey instead of double. So, we were on the same page all week. Normally we're on the same page, but I think this week it just, anything that was in between clubs, it always seemed to work out.
So what was the hardest hole to caddy this week?
I think 14's always tough. I think 14's a hard hole. If you can get home, it's okay, or get it up there. But if not, like today, we were right in between 3-wood or 3-iron. 3-iron doesn't do you any good because you don't want to hit it right up in front of the green and have to pitch it. 3-wood, you can't stop it on the green. Obviously, his must have hit in the rough. But even if you get a long left, it's okay. So you either got to hit 3-wood up or keep it back and give yourself something you can spin. But it's hard when you're 250 yards to hit a 150-yard shot and leave yourself 100 yards.
Right.
I mean, tour players don't like that.
And caddies trying to talk tour players into doing that.
Well, exactly. So you have to. But anyways, it worked out well. I think 14's always hard. That green is just so tricky. So you've got that stretch of 8, 9, 10, where you're playing kind of conservative. 8's a 4 or 5 iron off the tee, and then you're just trying to bounce it 5 on the green. If it comes up short, that's fine. And 9 and 10 are just good holes. Where if you get it out of play like we did today, you got to lay it up, and if you don't, it's still a hard shot.
What was the one shot at the beginning of this week that you saw Gary hit where you thought to yourself, okay, we might be able to do this?
I don't know if there was. I'd have to think back. One shot, I don't know. I mean,
or what was
yesterday?
The one shot
I would say yesterday the chip in on 12. That was crucial because he hit a good shot off the tee. It kind of went right into the face of the bunker. Half shanked it or whatever he did, and then made that. That's the kind of week it was. It was a week where every time he got a little out of play or out of control, he'd make a putt. Same thing on 14 yesterday. 13 or what is it? Yeah, 13 and 14.
13 and
chip
14.
in and those. That's when it's a good week.
What does this mean for you as a caddy winning the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach?
Well, it's great. Believe me. I mean, there's a time where you win one. I mean, I was fortunate enough to win with Mike in 03. And then, you're just never sure. And I think then I was a lot younger, so I didn't appreciate it. It takes a little, you always think, okay, Mike was playing great. You're going to, this just happens. Yeah, this just happens. So you never know. I mean, Gary's been trending in the right direction, and he's put himself in contention here over the last couple of years. So, that's normally what it takes.
Now, were you guys scoreboard watching, and did you see Brooks making that move?
I did see it. At the same time, there's only so much you can do, right? I mean, you really aren't playing, you're still ahead by 1 or 2, and you're still trying to do the right thing until you need to coming in. And then that's 17th, that chip he hit on. He hit a bad shot off on 17 and hit a great chip shot. I walked off, asked one of the camera guys, did Brooks make par, which gives us a 2-stroke lead.
So you knew.
I knew, and I wanted to make sure.
Right.
He knew because the scoreboard on 17, but I didn't want to get up there and have that scoreboard be wrong and you got a 1-stroke lead and then you play safe. So I made sure, I asked Lewis, one of the camera guys, I said, is Brooks finished at 10? And he's like, yes. And I said, you sure? And he goes, positive. He just missed his putt. So I'm like, okay.
What's that feeling like? What's that feeling like for the caddy when you stand on the 18th tee box knowing you got a 2-shot lead and your man's playing as good as he's played?
It's great, but at the same time, it's not like it's tree-lined and there's no trouble. So
I'm actually Pacific out to the left.
And it's funny because that's one of the holes you stand on in practice rounds, and you'll say once in a while, if you have a 2-stroke lead or 3-stroke lead here, what do you do? But I've never seen that played that way. So I get up and he's like perfect 4-iron. I'm like, yeah. Thinking to myself, okay, that's 240 to that bunker. It's into the wind. You're not getting into the bunker. But
that's all you're trying to do.
Oh yeah, we were 4-iron, 5-iron, 8-iron.
Did you have butterflies at all this week?
Yeah, I always get butterflies.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe he wore off on me. Maybe it was the opposite this week because I felt really good and, he never got I didn't see any. He never got to a point where he was uncomfortable or I thought he was even nervous. There's been times when I've thought before that, okay, just keep going here, but he just seemed like nothing fazed him. A couple of clubs that were, maybe not the best clubs. He just rolled on with it and got it up and down, and so it was good.
He made
Great
it
week.
easy to caddy for this.
And very easy. He's usually pretty easy to caddy for anyways, but it seemed like this week was a little bit easier.
Was there any one thing that you said to him that you'll look back on from this week and think to yourself, yep, that was the right thing to do at the right time or the right thing to say?
No, I think 14. I think the 3 wood at 14 was the right play because he was kind of, we were what's left like, what's long right. I'm like, long right's not very good, but at the same time, I'm like, you don't want to lay it back so far and give yourself a wedge, and that's no gimme wedge.
Right, right.
So I figured you hit 3 wood if it gets up and gets over or gets left, at least you're back up the hill.
Smart play right there.
Yeah.
The one thing I too wanted
Always
to
nice
know.
when they pull it off. Let me tell you. You flare a 3 wood out long right there and make 6. It's not the right play, but it's usually the way it goes when you're winning.
When he hits that putt on 18, and you see that thing tracking towards the hole, what's going through your mind?
Oh, well, I knew when he actually. I mean, you never really know, but when you hit it on the green in 3, I mean, you can 3-putt. I mean, that's a pretty good feeling. So it was nice.
One thing you can't say as a caddy in a major championship is, "Pro, you got 5 putts here, man. Just lag it on down."
No, and he didn't. He just walked up there, and I didn't say. I mean, we were just chatting like there was nothing. So that I knew that he was in a good place. He was still staying in there, focused, and.
So you weren't talking about on the 18th anything other than
what
you normally would talk about?
We were talking about the shot playing a little long, and we talked before where to hit it. Just get it pin high right. So yeah, that was it.
When did you have the most butterflies? Was it on that second shot?
Probably on 18.
First shot or second?
I don't know. For some reason the first. I mean, the second one's okay because you can hit it out there and you hook it. If you miss it right in the crowd, that's fine. You chop it up in front and make 6, right?
Right.
But the first one, it's. I mean, you're not really give much of a chance to miss it, but still, you don't want to miss it right in the bunker and get a bad lie, and you're not really going to miss it left.
Yeah.
So, it was nice to have a 2-stroke lead, not a 1-stroke lead. Because 1-stroke lead would be a little bit different.
Now there's more than butterflies.
Well, now you got to play it differently.
Yeah, and you got flying saucers.
Because you're not going to hit 4-iron, 5-iron, 8-iron, and then try to make par. You want to get it up in front of the green. And so it played different that way.
Man, you guys look so relaxed out there too. I know inside that it was going on, but you guys look so relaxed out there. What do you think this means to him?
Oh, I think I know for the last couple of years since he's really sharpened his game, chipping, putting, I knew that he knew he could win. So I knew there was a little frustration at some of the other tournaments not getting it done. Playing well in the PGA last year really helped. Playing with Tiger, I think that really. And then he's had some good rounds, even though at the PGA this year, finished top 10, but he played well on Sunday. So his game's definitely been trending, and obviously being on Father's Day and supporting the military like he does, and there's a huge presence out here, so it means a lot to him. It means a lot to everyone.
And as a Canadian, for you, this has been a pretty good run here the last couple of weeks, huh?
Absolutely. Well, that's why I wore the Blues visor today, because I figure it's the Raptors, the Blues, and now Gary. All in the same week. Yeah, well, I've got a few hockey teams. The boys will rough me up. I'm kind of a Dallas Stars fan too, but my buddy's the GM of the Blues, so I thought I'd support him.
You got to.
They can win the cup, and so
your Raptors.
Maybe we'll go celebrate with the cup now, and he can come celebrate with us.
2 majors in the bag, but the most important one is the one he just won, the U.S. Open 2019. Butchie, Brennan Little. Congratulations,
Thanks,
bro.
Appreciate it.
That's so awesome.